So go ahead and find your way into child's pose on your mat. And feel free to use whatever technique. Like sometimes it helps to have a pillow to rest under your torso, or even one between your thighs and your heels. Let your knees come as wide as they need to and your big toes come to touch so that you can rest right between your thighs. Ideally, your head is resting on something, whether that's a pillow or a block or your own hands, all good. But you want to have a place where your body can kind of settle in here. And if your knees don't like this pose, sit up, no big deal. Do a pose that feels good. Or you can even lay flat on your belly or sit on your bum, whatever works. Wherever you are, let the eyes close and begin to feel your body settling. As if, like when you are driving through dust, all the dust is kind of flurrying around, and that's kind of our lives right now and all the information we're receiving. So for this bit of time as we're on our mat, let that dust start to settle. Let your body start to settle and your mind start to settle. And coming out of that chaotic flurry and letting everything begin to soften down towards the earth. Your body soften towards the earth, your heart, your head. And then start to expand the breath in your body. And let that awareness shift from that chaos into the consistency of your own breath, the fluidity of your own breath, so that your breath becomes this thread for your practice. Always and continually coming back to the breath as it connects you to your practice, as it connects you to this moment.
I want cookie. You want cookie. I love you.
Deep in that breath. And then start to feel the breath come a little bit more into the back of the body and the sides of the body. So you're feeling this full circumference of breath. And then take a moment in this very internal space to set an intention for yourself. Maybe that's something like being gentle or compassionate with yourself. Whatever it might be, maybe it's something else you're working on. Maybe it's staying connected to the breath or this moment. And then let your hands walk together so that the palms are touching right out in front of your head and the elbows are close into your head. Send your sits bones further back to your heels and walk your elbows further away from your shoulders and take a big inhale. Feel the whole back body, side body, and front body get long. And then as you exhale, soften your heart and your head and then bend at the elbows and let the forearms and the fingers point towards the sky. Bring a little energy in the palms of the hands and then let the thumbs drop right to the nape of the neck. Take another deep breath here. And then go ahead and extend the arms as you inhale, separate them to shoulder distance, and as you exhale, go ahead and bring yourself up into a tabletop. Walk the knees right under the hips and the wrists right under the shoulders. Spread your fingers. We're going to actually tent up onto our fingertips. Unless your hands don't appreciate this, then flat hands. But if you have flat hands, think about still gripping with those fingertips and the padding at the base of each finger. Spin your biceps forward, lift your belly and your ribs in, and start to find a cat-cow. Inhale, letting the tailbone and the heart lift. Exhale, letting the tailbone and the heart curl and the head drop. And then again, drop into that fluidity of breath, that circular breath, as it connects you to your movement. Once your hands feel like they've had enough of that, just set them back down flat. Fingers spreading and gripping. Pressing through the inner edge of the hand. And then close your eyes and start to feel your body here as it moves. Notice and feel into all those little nooks and crannies where we like to store our tension, our worries, our excitements, whatever it may be. And we're trying to send our breath and clear out all the cobwebs with our movement and our breath. So go ahead and let your body take on any organic fluid movement that feels good. Without even really thinking about it too much, just let the body move. And that might be a small movement or it might be a large movement. Totally up to you. Go with what feels good, but stay in the breath. And then take another 2 breaths. And on the next inhale, go ahead and make your way to a neutral spine. Still in that tabletop. From here, we're going to take our right leg back with the toes on the ground and press into the heel of the foot. So you start to feel the toes open for one, spread out all 5 toes, and then feel the arch of the foot open, and then feel all the way into the Achilles tendon, up through the calf and into the back of the leg. Now, as you're pressing the heel back, firm up the leg, firm up the core, and firm up your arms. Good. And then from here, bring your shoulders right back over your wrists, so they've probably traveled back. Belly strong. Go ahead and try and lift that right leg up in line with the hip. Now, it might not want to lift, in which case you'll keep it on the ground. That's totally okay. If it's lifted, it's no higher than your hip. And then your belly and your ribs draw back in, and the outer hip rolls down, and the inner thigh rolls up. Good. And then flex the foot and press the heel back. Come onto your left fingertips, and then maybe extend your left arm forward. Now switch and floint the foot. Press through the ball of the foot, spread through the toes. Keep the belly lifted and the ribs lifted. Good. From here, set the left hand back down, flex the right foot, and set the toes back down again. Take an inhale, get long. You're going to shift the weight into the right hand, pick up the left, and reach it to the sky. Keep the back of the right leg lifted, just like a little gentle twist. And then from here, set the arm back down, set the knee back down. Take the left leg, press into the toes, spread all 5 toes, press into the heel, open the back of the foot. Feel that travel, that stretch travel up through the whole back of the leg. Stay in that breath. And then shoulders come back over the wrists. Exhale, brace the core, lift the leg, keep the foot flexing, come onto your right fingertips. Now all of these are steps, so at any point you've had enough, you pause and you stay at whatever step you're on. Then take the right arm forward and floint the back foot so that the toes are spreading but the foot is pointing. Belly and ribs are drawn in. Spine is long from the tailbone to the crown. Good. Set the right hand back down. Flex the left toes and set the left toes back down. And inhale, float the right arm up. Draw the left shoulder away from the ear. And then exhale, set that hand down, set that knee down. From here, curl all 10 toes under. You might stand up on your knees and then slowly begin to put pressure back, or you might sit all the way on the heels, depends on you. Press the arms out, or you might have a block that you're sitting on. But our idea is to stretch out the toes and the feet here even more, and then stretch out the hands by pressing the palms away from you. Take just the pinky fingers, stretch them out and down. And then the ring fingers, all 10 fingers are spreading, and then the middle fingers. And then the index. So really stretch your thumb out and away from the other fingers. And then take the thumb, wrap it in the palm of the hand, and take all of the knuckles down and press the wrists away. Drop the shoulders. Good. And then relax the arms or the hands and roll them out. Set the hands back in front of you. Come off those toes and tap them out. And back on your fingertips, but walk them way out in front of your shoulders. Hips stay over your knees here. Start to drop your heart down, maybe your head down. Keep pressing in your fingertips and spinning your biceps up. Your hips stay over your knees for this one pretty much. And then you walk your fingers forward as you send your hip creases back. Good, and then set your hands down, set your forearms down, set your elbows down. Get a little toning in the arms, and you're just gonna start to let your body drag forward until you land on your belly. And ideally, your elbows land pretty close to underneath your shoulders, maybe just slightly in front. Extend your legs, bring the big toes towards one another, and press into the tops of the feet. Good, now, extending the legs and pressing down, start to feel your ribs knit together and lift. So it's a little small movement, but you should feel that. And then feel your navel lift up towards your spine. And then start to feel your hips lift off the ground. And then feel your thighs lift. Now, just like we did in that cat pose, when we were curling and rounding our spine, think about taking your bottom ribs to touch your hip points. And think about taking your hip points to rise up and touch your bottom ribs, curling. And then as you do that, pull your navel back to your spine. Press evenly from your elbows to your fingertips, and you should feel a little shake in the core. Let the neck be long and the shoulders back and the heart forward. Keep drawing that belly in. Good, and then lower the thighs and lower the hips, and lower the belly and the low ribs. And as you inhale, press into your forearms to drag your heart forward, drop the shoulders down, keep the navel toned, the core stays toned here. Good. We're gonna do that again. Exhale, ribs knit together and they lift. Navel lifts, hips lift, thighs lift, curl, ribs to hips, hips to ribs. Lengthen the back of the neck. Pull everything, like imagine you have a corset around your midsection and you're cinching it right into the midline. So everything's hugging into your spine. Relax the tension in the shoulders and in the jaw. Let all the work be in the core. And then thighs down, hips down, belly down, ribs down. Inhale, lift the heart. From here, spin the elbows out to the side and let your palms become a pillow, or your hands become a pillow for the forehead. And just relax here. Maybe rock the hips a little side to side. Okay. Now walk the feet together again if they've drifted apart. Pick one leg up, reach it, reach it, reach it, set it down and anchor it. Pick the other one, reach it, reach it, reach it. Anchor it down. So press so much into the tops of the feet that your knees actually lift off the ground. And then press your pelvis down and slide your hands. Let's take them actually all the way down by our sides with the back of the hands on the mat. And then as you inhale, think about reaching your toes back and reaching the crown of the head forward and the heart forward. And then as you lift your navel, start to lift your shoulders. Lift your heart, squeeze the shoulders together, and maybe lift the hands up. Palms up for this one. Shoulders squeezing together. Navel lifting, feet pressing, neck long. Good. And then release. You can turn your head to one side. And we're gonna switch now. We're gonna take the palms to face in, so the thumbs are down and the pinkies are up. Start though with your palms facing up again. Extend back through the legs, anchor down. Lift up through the navel, extend forward through the heart and the crown, lift up. Palms lift, and then flip them to face in and squeeze them together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Open up the front of the heart. Strengthen the upper back. This is really good for posture. Just strengthen that upper back and shoulders. Good, and then lower yourself down and just turn your head to the other side. This time, bend the knees and separate them and let the knees windshield wiper side to side. And then extend the legs. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, you're gonna press through your hands and your knees to lift right back into your tabletop. And we're gonna take a modified plank here. So we did that on our forearms, and now we're gonna do it on our hands. So walk your hands a bit in front of your shoulders so that when you drop your hips, your shoulders land pretty much over your wrists. Pull your navel up and lengthen your tailbone down. So you're not sagging your hips to the ground. You're firm in that upper body. It's long. Your tailbone is long. Your belly and ribs are in, and your arms are strong. If this is too much on your arms, the knees are closer. The closer you get your knees, the more you stack, the more support you're going to have. So as you're feeling stronger, take the knees back. If you're feeling like you don't want the knees down, take the knees up and take a high plank. So those are your options. Wherever you are, spin the biceps forward and press the floor away from you so you're broad in your upper back. Breathe into the back of the heart. And then as you press the floor away from you, take your hands, press through the inner edge, especially between thumb and index, and then drag your arms apart like you're trying to stretch that sticky mat apart. So it's all isometric. You're not actually going to see any movement, but you should feel a lot of action. So you're pressing down, you're pulling apart. Now pull back. Feel your low belly turn on to keep you from spilling forward. And breathe. And breathe. And press the hips all the way back to the heels. Take one arm and then the other arm back for embryo. Just drape over your legs. And then inhale and roll yourself up and stand up on your knees and take your arms and stretch them up tall. Then we're going to come into a lunge with that right leg forward. So you can keep the arms up, they can come to your hips, or they can come onto blocks or water bottles or whatever you have to support you. On the exhale, use your belly to bring that right leg all the way forward. Stretch up tall here. Again, blocks are absolutely an option. Press into your back shin, press into your top foot, and feel like you're trying to drag them together. Good. Now, keep that action. Feel it travel up into your belly, up into your heart and your crown. And then start to let that right sit bone come a little closer to your right heel without letting your right knee go beyond your ankle. So keep it stacking. And then pull your outer right hip back, pull your belly in again. And again, how far you go forward, totally up to you. If it feels better to stay stacked, stay stacked. But what we're going for is an opening in the front of that left hip flexor. If your arms are up, take the right hand and make a fist right in the back. If your shoulder doesn't like this, set your forearm to your low back like a shelf. That might be a little bit more accessible. If your elbows bent, just draw it back. Reach this left arm up, and then bend the elbow and cradle the base of the skull, and just let the head drop back into the hand. And that should create a little bit more opening in that left hip flexor. And then take a big breath here. Keep strong in the core, supported in this low back, right hip drawing back, outer hip drawing in. Good, and then gently come back up, right? Extend that left arm, extend that right arm. And we're gonna shift back, set the hands down, bring the left hip over the left knee and flip the right toes up. And again, blocks or water bottles are nice to have here. Think about bringing your heart forward and your shoulders back, lifting this right kneecap and breathing into the back of the leg. Okay, keep breathing here. Then from here, keep your hands on the ground, but walk them forward till that right foot comes flat and your hands are now framing your front foot. Slide your left knee way back behind your hip and let your right hand come inside of that right foot, and then just heel that foot out to the right, heel toe that foot out to the right a bit so you have room for your right arm. For this one, Toes forward, knee hugging into your upper outer arm, pressing into your back shin, lifting your heart. And this should be a nice big opening in the head. We're just going to stay here and breathe. Then, keep everything as it is, but let your right toes turn at a diagonal to the right at about 45 degrees. Flex the toes, and maybe the knee starts to open a little bit. Maybe the hands come a little bit more forward as you drag your heart a little more forward. Keep sending your left toes back and down. This might get a little bit deeper. And some of you are either going to stay here, some of you are going to shift the weight into the left hand and let your right hand gently drag that right thigh out and away as you turn your chest to that right thigh. Set the right hand back down. Hands are under the shoulders. Turn the right toes back forward. Brace your core. We're just going to send this right knee back to meet the left, and you'll land in that modified plank. So you can heel toe the foot out and let it come all the way back. And if that doesn't quite work for your body, then you'll go there however it works from tabletop. So now you're in this high plank. Your arms are strong. Your biceps are forward. Your navel's in. And you're long, so you're not letting the belly sag at all. No banana backs. Good. And then shift the weight back over your knees. Walk the hands back under your shoulders. Take an inhale, let the tailbone rise, the heart rise, and the crown of the head rise. Take an exhale, let the tailbone curl, the belly lift, the back round, and the head drop. Inhale to neutral. Stand back up on those knees and float the arms up. Stay here, take the arms down as we transition into that left side lunge. So as you exhale, use the belly, step that left foot forward. Anchor the back shin, anchor the front foot, and then drag them towards one another. Inhale, lift all the way up from the pelvic floor to the crown of the head and up to the fingers. And then maybe start to send your left sit bone a little closer to your heel as you open into that right side. Keep dragging your front heel and back shin towards one another. Keep lifting the belly and pulling the ribs in. From here, take the left hand and either make a fist in the back or make a shelf with your forearm. Inhale, stretch your right arm up, your heart up, and then bend the elbow and cradle the back of the head, the skull. It's like you're wrapping your hands right around that ridge. Hug the elbow in and then drop the weight of the head back into your hand. And then left arm is just wherever it feels good to support and lengthen that low back. Keep lifting your low belly and breathing into your right hip flexor. Good, and then as you exhale, belly in, come back upright, extend the right arm, extend the left, stretch tall, and then exhale, set the hands down, let the right knee come over the right hip, and extend your left leg, toes up and spread it. Inhale, the heart comes forward and the shoulders come back. Left kneecap is drawing back, right hip is staying right over that right knee. And then from here, we're going to keep our hands down. Maybe you're on your fingertips as you walk your foot flat. Take an inhale, lift your heart, drop that right hip, and then send the left hand right inside the left foot and heel toe it out to the left so you have room for your hands to come back down. You can be on your fingertips, you can be on your block, you can be flat on your hands. For this one, toes forward and knee hugging in. Right knee behind your right hip, anchor the shin down. Inhale, lift the heart, drop the shoulders like you're scooping your torso forward. And one side might feel totally different than the other. Just breathe into this. And then everything's going to pretty much stay the same, but we're going to let our left toe angle out to the left, flex it, and maybe let that left knee drop open a bit. And then keep lifting the heart, lifting the belly. And then maybe the weight comes into the right hand and you let your left hand drag that left thigh out and away. And you just kind of lean back a little bit away from that thigh. And then let the left hand come back down. The left toes come back down, and then take that left knee back to meet the right, where you land in this high plank variation. Biceps forward, upper back broad, pull the mat apart, drag it back. Good. And then shift the hips back over the knees. Walk the hands forward again. Drop the heart, drop the head, puppy pose. If you want to take a down dog here, this would be a nice place to take a down dog if you're wanting weight bearing. Otherwise, this is a nice alternative. And then as you exhale, let the hips drop all the way back to the heels again. Set the hands under the shoulders and roll yourself up. And we're going to come up to stand into a forward fold. So we've warmed up those feet, curl the toes under, and then we're actually going to roll all the way over your feet. Now, if your feet, your ankles, your knees don't like this, you know your options. Stand up in a way that works better for you. Otherwise, we're using this to stretch the calves a little bit more. Firm into your feet, firm into your hands. Take an inhale, get long in your spine, and on the exhale, start to push into your feet and into your hands to lift the hips. Now, keep the knees pretty bent. If your feet aren't hip distance, go ahead and separate them so that they become hip distance and parallel. And then let the whole upper body hang. Now, your hands can stay on the floor. They can rest on a block or a water bottle, or they can rest in the elbow creases. This creates a little bit more tension, so if it feels like too much, then have the hands in a place that feels more supportive. And then just breathe through the whole back body. Couple deep, fluid breaths. Okay, release the arms, bend the knees a lot, pull the belly in a lot, keep the knees bent as you roll yourself up, and you can use your hands to walk yourself up to stand. Good. Okay. From here, we are going to turn sideways and take a wide stance on our mat with the toes facing the long side of the mat and the feet parallel to one another. Then from here, take your hands to your hips. Inhale, stand up tall. And on the exhale, you're going to bend your left knee and stick your booty back. Right leg's going to stay straight. So it's kind of like a skandasana, but not quite, or a side lunge. But you should feel a stretch in this inner right thigh. Keep the kneecap lifted so you're not hyperextending that leg back. The left knee is bending, the booty's traveling back, the navel's lifting, and the ribs are lifting. So the whole core is into the middle. Then maybe take the arms straight out to the side if that feels okay on your back. No pain in the back. You should be feeling this mostly in that left leg. Push into that left leg to bring your legs straight. If possible, your torso is still parallel. And then inhale and just unhinge to come up. Hands back to the hips. Bend into your right knee as you stick your bum back. You hinge at the hips, not at the waist, but at the hips. Left leg is straight. Breathe into that inner left thigh. Lift into the belly, lift into the ribs. Maybe lift the back of the arms. Okay, again, straighten that right leg. Try and keep the torso parallel to the floor. Squeeze your inner thighs, squeeze your belly, squeeze your ribs. Inhale and unhinge. Now take the hands behind you and interlace. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and down. Squeeze your palms together, maybe, or maybe you even have a towel to make this more accessible, and then extend the arms back and away from you. Pull the belly and the ribs in. Now we're coming back into that forward hinge. If you know that you don't feel super stable here, you'll stay here and then unhinge the hands and take them to the floor. But if possible, squeeze those inner thighs, lift those kneecaps, and then hinge yourself forward. You can even have a little bend in the knees. And again, if you want more support, your hands are down to the floor. That's beautiful. To come up, either hands to the hips and unhinge, or press through your knuckles, strong legs, strong core, and unhinge up. Good. Release the hands down, let them float back up. From here, turn your right toes to point straight to the top of the mat, and then just angle the left foot slightly so that the left toes are a little bit in front of the left heel. Hips are going to stay facing the long side of the mat. Front heel and back arch are in alignment. Then bend into that right knee. As you bend into it, notice if it travels in, and if it does, pull it or open it towards the second and third toe. And then press into the outer edge of this left foot to spin your hip open and tuck your sit bone under. Lift up the belly, lift up the heart, lift up the crown, stand tall. Warrior two. From warrior two, we're going to an extended side angle. So start to reach through that right arm, set the elbow or the forearm to the thigh, and take your left arm straight up. Inhale, reach tall as you press into that left foot, and then just angle it right over your ear. So you feel this nice long line through that whole outer left side body. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, spin your ribs open a little bit as if you're spinning your heart to the sky. Keep the belly strong to do that, and then try not to lose the bend in that front knee. Okay. And then pull that left arm straight up and all the way up back to your warrior two, palms face back down. Straighten your front leg, spin the toes forward, and right to the other side. Spin the left toes back to the back, angle the right toes forward, heel back a bit. Same thing, front heel back arch are lined up. And then strong arms, spread the fingers, bend into that front knee, watch as it caves in, peel it open, shoulders stay over the hips, so our tendency kind of wants to be to lean forward or back. Try and stay right on top. Press into the outer edge of that back foot, spin the hip open, tuck your sit bone under a little bit, pull belly and ribs in, strong and firm in the arms. Warrior two. Then start to reach through that left arm, set the forearm to the thigh, and take your right arm straight up. Get long here. It's like you're spreading the heart, lifting the belly, and then take it right over the ear with the palm facing down. Press into the outer edge of the foot, reach through the fingertips, and stretch in that whole right side body. And then inhale here, and as you exhale, spin open a little bit, as if you're trying to turn your ribs up to the sky. Stay breathing. Good. And then reach that right arm back up. And then as if you're being pulled up, pull yourself up. Let the arms float back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Good. Spin those toes back in. Now spin the heels in and keep the toes out. Bend the elbows. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, as if you're sliding right down a wall, and your feet might be a little bit wide, so you can heel toe them in narrow. The most important thing is that your knees point to your toes. So how wide your feet are open or your knees are open is totally dependent on your own hips. So glance down, make sure you can see your big toes when you're sitting down. Good. Now, draw the shoulder blades back in together. So you're opening the chest and you're squeezing the shoulder blades. And at the same time you're doing that, pull your front ribs in. So it's kind of this teeter-totter. Shoulders squeeze back, ribs squeeze together, navel squeezes together. Good. Now keep your shoulder blades squeezing and slide them down like you're drawing the bottom tips of the shoulder blades together, and your elbows are going to come down a little bit. Good. Now inhale, stretch the arms to the sky, sit down again. Exhale, bring the elbows bent, draw the shoulder blades back, and slide them down, squeezing all the way down. Same thing. Inhale, stretch up, sit down. Exhale, bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades, drag them down your back. And then inhale, stretch back up, straighten the legs, turn the toes in and the hands to the hips. Exhale and hinge forward. Set the hands right under your shoulders. Long spine. We're going to move into a little twist here. So keep your right hand down. Keep your hips squaring the floor, scissoring the inner thighs together, lifting your navel, and let your left arm float to the sky. Press down, reach up, and then bump that right hip up. It likes to drop. Your gaze can be wherever it feels good on your neck. And then set this left hand down way out in front of your right, in front of the shoulder. And then be on your fingertips. Weight is in the legs. Take this right hand, reach to your outer left thigh, shin, or ankle, and start to pull and resist, and maybe turn under that left arm a little bit. And the tension or the stretch in that right shoulder comes from that pull and that resist. Good, and then just gently unwind that. Set the hands back under the shoulders. Inhale, get long. Left hand's gonna stay under the left shoulder this time, and inhale, right arm's gonna float up. Press down, reach up, and then bump that left hip up. Squeeze the inner thighs. Take the gaze wherever it makes sense for your own neck. Good. And then as you exhale, let that right arm come down, land it right way out in front of your shoulders so you're super long. Get the weight in the legs, get the legs strong. Take this left hand, grab for the outer right calf, thigh, ankle, and twist under your right arm or close to it. But you're trying to spin to the right. Beautiful. Unwind. Set the right hand under the shoulders, or excuse me, left hand under the shoulder, right hand under the shoulder. Soften the knees, pull the belly, and set the hands to the hips, and unhinge all the way up. And then heel toe the feet together. Shift the weight into the right foot and pick up your left knee and try and bring it as much into your chest as you can, and then straighten the arms. And then maybe straighten the leg. Try not to lean back, try not to hunch the shoulders, relax. Bend the knee. Good, straighten the leg. Now point the toes, flex the toes. Point the toes, flex the toes, bend the knee. Good. From here, turn the knee out to the left. Bring your heel onto the calf and the toes to the floor, or bring the sole of the foot onto the calf, or maybe even pick up this knee, reach down and bring the sole of the foot to the upper inner thigh. Land below or above your knee. And then find again that equal and opposite pressure between your foot and your leg. Lift out of your standing leg, lift up to your belly. Maybe the arms are up, but maybe they're out to the side, or they're holding a chair or a wall. And then let that knee come back forward again. Let the foot come off the leg. Stand up tall one more time. Kick that leg out. Good. And then soften your standing leg so that you can set the heel down staggered and come with the feet staggered, one in front of the other. So it looks like this from the side view. And then let the hands come to the hips. Draw the kneecaps up and hinge yourself forward. And as you come forward, bring that left hip back and the heart forward in the crown long. And then you should feel this in the back of that front leg. And you might have blocks, or you might touch to the floor. But if you're feeling super rounded, if you can, then stay right here and just have your hands on your thighs and take a little bend in that front knee. And then draw that front hip back. Hands to the hips, unhinge. From here, go ahead and bring your feet back to hip distance and parallel. Just step them back together. And then inhale, take the arms, stretch them up. Shift the weight into that left leg. Soften the knee a bit. And exhale, pick up your right knee as much as it'll go. Lift out of your standing leg. Lift up tall. Exhale, extend the leg. Inhale and bend it. Exhale, extend the leg. Inhale and bend it. Turn the knee out to the side, and then again, find your placement for your foot, ankle, calf, or lift the knee high and reach down, set the sole of the foot to the inner upper thigh. Either way, that knee is opening and the standing hip is lifting and the arms are wherever they need to be. And you're breathing. Good. And then from here, go ahead and let that knee come forward and the foot come free. Lift it high again, lift the belly and kick it out. And then as you start to bring it down, soften your standing leg, set the heel down, straighten both legs. So ideally they're about hip distance and stagger. And then bring the hands to the hips again. Take an inhale, sit up tall, draw that front hip back and hinge forward. Kneecaps are lifted, heart is long, crown is long. And then again, you can stay here, hands to your thighs, hands to the floor, a little softening in that front knee, but either way, knees for sure lifted. Okay, and then to come out, soften the knee, walk the hand back up to the hips, and inhale and unhinge, and just step the feet back together. Okay. From here, we're gonna make our way back onto our backs on the floor. So I'll lead you a way through. If you have another way you'd like to come, you can feel free. Otherwise, stand at one end of your mat, feet hip distance, and inhale, stretch the arms up, reach tall. And then on the exhale, bend the knees a lot and hinge yourself forward, back into that forward fold. Let the head hang. And we're gonna come into an extension here. So keep the knees soft, but walk the hands up to the thighs and inhale, reach the heart forward and the shoulders back. And get the torso parallel to the floor, lifting the belly. And then exhale and fold all the way down. And then from here, we're gonna come back the way we went in. So start to bend the knees, and your heels eventually are probably gonna come off the ground, and that's okay as long as it's okay with your body. Take a moment here, stretching. And then two options. Set your hands behind you to help you sit, or extend the arms out in front of you to counter that balance as you roll yourself down. And then either way, let the legs come extended. And then you'll let the arms come extended. And then you can again help yourself down or roll yourself down to the mat. Once you come all the way down, extend the arms up, extend the legs long, take a big inhale. And then on the exhale, bring the right knee in and take the hands and interlace them either around your knee or around the back of the thigh. So if you have any knee issues, it can help to give just a little bit more space for that joint. And if not, it can feel okay to just hug the knee in. And then flex your left foot, peel the toes back, and anchor your thigh bone down. Breathe into this right hip. And then soften that grip a little bit and let the knee come out, around, and up into the right shoulder. So just a little bit of a wider. And keep pressing the left heel out and the thigh bone down. Good. And then release the tension on that leg and slide the hands now to the back of the thigh if they're not already there, and extend your leg to the sky. Now, if it's hard to have to grip your straight leg here, a towel can be nice, or a bathrobe sash can be nice to just extend your arms a bit. So keep the left foot flexing, but start to point and flex your right foot and really exaggerate that. So open the front of the foot and the whole back of the leg. And then take some circles as if you're tracing a clock, every number, and go the other way. Good. And then from here, bend your left knee and set the foot on the floor. And start to bend your right knee towards your right shoulder with the sole of the foot staying up. Then, this might be where you stay in this happy baby with the left foot on the ground and the hands at the back of the right thigh. Or you might hold the thigh with your left hand and slide your right hand to your ankle, maybe your left hand. Or you might even grab for the outer edge of the foot and then start to let your knee come towards your armpit. Now at some point this left hip's gonna pop off the ground, so re-anchor your left hip down and then draw the right knee down. Now this might be enough, or you might straighten your left leg and come into half happy baby. So those are all options. The knee can absolutely stay bent. That's a little more accessible. We are here. Okay. Wherever you are, take the left hand back to the back of the right thigh and release the right foot. Right hand comes back around, bend the knee, and you can hold around the front of the knee or the back of the thigh and just windshield wiper that leg right to left. And the left knee can be bent or straight. Then flex the right foot. Bend the left knee and cross the right ankle right above the left thigh. Send your left knee out to the right as you hook the outer edge of the right foot to the outer edge of your left thigh. So you're in this figure four. And before you bring the left knee towards you, send your right thigh out and away from you. Lengthen your tailbone on the ground, almost as if you're scooping your bum up. Pull your navel down, and then bring your left knee up in towards your chest, keeping all of that other action. You're pressing your right ankle into your left thigh, and then you might reach around and grab to the back of the thigh or around the shin. Okay, release the left foot down. Take the right leg straight up again. And take the left knee at 90 degrees now. So right leg straight, left knee at 90 degrees above your hip. Take your hands onto your left thigh and try and press your left leg away from you and resist. Option one, keep the head and shoulders on the mat. Option two, keep that resistance, that equal and opposite isometric contraction, and curl your head and shoulders up. Option three, keep all of that and extend the right leg. Belly down, back down, push. Good. Leg comes back up, head comes back down. Bend the right knee and set the foot on the ground. Slide your hands to the around the left knee or back of the left thigh and just hug it in now. And then go ahead and slide that right leg long, press the heel away and the toes towards you. Breathe into the left side here. And then soften that grip, let the leg travel out to the left and up into the shoulder. Good, and then from here, extend your left leg, holding behind the thigh perhaps. And again, your right knee can come bent if that feels more accessible, and then flex and point the foot. And take some big circles. Right foot is flexing and thighs anchoring, go the other way. Good. And then flex the foot and slide the right foot in so the knee's bent. Drop the left knee over towards your left shoulder. Keep the right hand at the back of the thigh. Slide the left hand maybe up to your ankle, or maybe not. Maybe to the outer edge of the foot, and then let the knee drop down towards your armpit. And then again, anchor your right hip down. And once you have that, maybe extend your right leg. And the right hand can even rest on the thigh to just encourage that anchoring down. And breathe into this half happy baby. Okay, from here, grab a hold of the back of the right thigh again so you can let that left leg extend up. Flex the foot, bend the right knee if it's not already there, and then cross your left ankle above your right knee for figure four. Hook the outer edge of the left foot on the thigh and send your left knee away from you and out to the side. And then keep all of that action, ankle pressing in the thigh, and bring your right knee towards you. And maybe even hug behind the right thigh. Figure four. Left knee's pressing away, left foot is flexing. Okay. Set your right foot back to the ground and extend your left leg straight up to the sky. Bring your right knee at 90 degrees above your hip. Take your hands onto your right thigh and try and press your thigh away from you. And then resist. Keep resisting. Keep resisting. That's option 1. Option 2 is to curl your head and shoulders up. And option 3 is to extend that left leg long. Okay, then leg comes back up, head and shoulders come back down. Hug both knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug and just gently rock your hips side to side. Okay, from here, one more full happy baby. Bring the knees wide to your shoulders. Here's option 1, stay right here, just holding the knees. Option 2, hold behind the thighs and send the soles of the feet up to the sky. Option 3, grab your ankles or the outer edges of the feet and pull your knees down towards your armpits. But at the same time, lengthen your tailbone down towards the floor. Good, and then release your happy baby. Set your heels down right in line with your sits bones. Just one to open the front of the thighs here. Set up for bridge. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, lift the hips up to the sky. And deep breath. Keep lengthening your tailbone between your knees, driving the heels back, breathing. And then to come down, roll down one vertebrae at a time. Walk the feet together and let the knees open wide. Supta Baddha Konasana. We're going to take 3 breaths here. Hands can rest on your belly, hands can rest on your thighs. Close your eyes. Take a big breath in through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. One more. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. And then find your final resting pose, Shavasana. Let your legs extend. Let your arms extend. Keep your eyes closing. And rest. Shavasana. This Morning by Mary Oliver. This morning the red bird's eggs have hatched and already the chicks are chirping for food. They don't know where it's coming from. They just keep shouting, more, more. As to anything else, they haven't had a single thought. Their eyes haven't yet opened. They know nothing about the sky that's waiting, or the thousands, the millions of trees. They don't even know they have wings. And just like that, like a simple neighborhood event, a miracle is taking place. If you're able to stay in Shavasana, stay just as you are. And if you're ready to begin transitioning, start to feel your body. As if you are that red bird just hatching, with all that there is yet to discover, the sky above you, the wings at your back. The miracle that is you. And start to deepen the breath and begin to feel in your body. Bringing some movement into your body until your hands come to rest somewhere on you. And once you land your hands on your body, take a moment to feel that connection to yourself. To feel into your heart of hearts, that deepest part, that truest part of yourself. And from there, send your whole being love and gratitude, compassion and respect. Come back to your intention. May we be at peace. May our hearts remain open. May we be awakened to the light of our true nature. May we be healed. May we be a source of healing and kindness for all beings. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Mama.